and we want some pacing, and we want some talking elements that get people thinking, especially more than the sort of like, you know, brainless action movies that might exist. But yeah, at the same time, you know, this is a movie that I think is really meant to be a pulpy adventure movie that can also work for a very broad audience, including, I mean, I know a lot of people who watched it as kids, where they go, that just sounds cool, you know, apes, you know, wow.
Yeah, I mean, when that scene where they pop up for the first time, where you know, he sees the humans and they're all kind of primitive, and then they just start netting them all like just by horseback, and you see horses getting fully flipped over hills and people diving off of them and shit. Like, it's, you know, it's genuinely exciting, and especially again, just watching apes do this to human beings is inherently exciting and intriguing and just kind of scary in its imagery. So as a kid, especially, I actually didn't watch this as a kid. I think I didn't get to this until I was in college, but I can imagine watching this as a kid and thinking this is legitimately terrifying. So
I did. Like, I was free. And I mean, even the stuff where, you know, like, I think a lot of people think about this film as, you know, you watch it now and it's a little bit talkier now than like action thrillers would probably be today. I mean, personally, I find all the talking stuff like quite compelling.
I agree.
I think that the character work and some of the things they're actually talking about with regards to this sort of reverse society and the sort of dehumanizing treatment and experiencing that, I think that there is, you know, stuff that they're, and I mean, even Charlton Heston, like, opening the movie as Taylor, who is this astronaut preparing for light speed hibernation with his crewmates. One of the first things he's talking about was stuff that kind of prepares you for the dark and depressing sort of existential turn that it's going to take, because he's completing his report. He's tucking in his crew for the long sleep, and, you know, our fates are in the hands of the computers now, and we're about to travel for 6 months in our time. It's going to be 700 years passing on Earth, meaning the men who sent us on this journey are long since dead and gone. You who are reading me now are a different breed. I hope a better one. And honestly, that was one of the first times where, because I had seen Star Wars and stuff like that, but I went, yeah, damn, if they're traveling for that long, I guess everyone they know is just dead. And that's a dark way to kind of begin your movie. And even, you know, Heston doesn't seem that bothered by it, because he's come to terms with it before even taking the journey. He's like, I have one last note for you guys, nothing scientific, only personal. Everything seems a little bit different seen from out here. Time bends, space is boundless. It really squashes a man's ego, which is such a funny thing to say leading up to the movie, where he's about to egotistically be like, no, I'm reasserting man's dominance over ape. That's what the rest of the movie basically is.
You just spend so much time kicking all the apes' asses.
Yeah, but then he's like, I feel lonely, and that's about it. You know, does man marvel at the universe still, the paradox of the stars? Does he still make war against his brother and keep his neighbor's children starving? I was like, these were dark things to be thinking about as a child. I was like, why is a spaceman saying these things? Yeah. I thought he's going to space to have fun. And
I'm supposed to be on an adventure and learn about like lightsabers and shit. What the hell is going on?
Exactly. That was exactly like my thought when I first watched it. I was like, this is just messed up. This is so,
and then I mean, hell, and then you get the whole thing where you actually have to process more time being going by them, and then when he wakes up and one of the astronauts, the woman astronaut, is just like a skeleton, or basically has started to decay.
She's like a rotted corpse because an air leak happened, and they went, you know. And I love that the one character's like, you don't seem too cut up about it. He's like, she's been dead a year.
Yeah,
even though he just discovered the body, but his view of time and his view of other people and the span of mankind is like, you know, he's a very misanthropic character even at the beginning.
That's true. He mentioned something about not really trusting humanity, and it's interesting that they make that the kind of philosophy of the hero character in this, because he still does come across, like we've said, as the all-American, like, I'm going to get the job done hero. But for him to already have this kind of negative, cynical view of the world and humanity itself is very interesting, because normally it wouldn't be that. He'd be more of like the rah, let's get the job done and rediscover America on this new planet or whatever. But he almost feels like it's it almost feels doomed from the start with his character in this
Oh my god, yeah. I mean,
way.
even the crazy Lightspeed travel credits with that incredibly weird and unpredictable and ominous score
Oh, it's
by
so offbeat.
once again Jerry Goldsmith.
Yeah.
We've talked about him a bunch of times on the show, specifically this year. I can't remember all the ones we've done this year, but it's been like, I feel like we brought up Jerry Goldsmith's names like a bunch of times. The dude is just like, I mean, he's a legend for a reason. He did Alien, he did Chinatown. I think it's because we talked LA Confidential recently, and we also did he do Outland?
I think he did. I'm almost certain that he did
that too.
Yeah.
Either way, just an incredible composer, and this is one of the weirdest scores he's ever. And I mean, it's iconic and incredible, but it's so atonal, and it has so many weird, like syncopated, like percussive beats to it, and just weird banging sounds.
Yeah, he does this weird thing where he almost goes like, it's almost tribal. But then the stuff that is orchestral, like the high strings and stuff, are all off. And even the like the drums, you get a sense of rhythm, but everything just feels a little bit offbeat, a little bit off of the 4 on the floor kind of rhythm. And it just creates this mystery, something that you don't understand is coming. It's a great way to introduce this film, and just kind of like, and it helps too, the whole mystery aspect. It helps with the characters, because again, they're falling asleep and just going hundreds, thousands of years into the future, essentially. So that it is truly a complete unknown that they're venturing into.